Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today we are checking out this Votatu RMD502 open emitter rifle red dot. Let's get into it. Now, for full transparency, Votatu has sent me one red dot before. It was, or actually two red dots before, both the same one. It was the pistol red dot. I'm gonna put a link to that down below. It performed exceedingly well. I was very impressed with it, and it's one of the better, at least in the sample sizing that I have, it's one of the better budget red dots out there for pistols on the market, in my opinion. They also sent me two of these and the ammo to test it. With that said, I have no monetary affiliation outside of the Amazon link that I'm going to provide you to check this out. That'll be an Amazon affiliate link. Outside of that, I have no permanent relationship with Votatu. Now, there's some things about this dot that I think are pretty darn cool, and then some things that I have to say about it negatively. First, this is basically the big brother of the pistol red dot that I reviewed before. In every way, it looks identical, except it's just like 2.5 times the size. And this is a Picatinny rail mount versus an RMR footprint. So they just took their other pistol red dot and exploded it. Now, a couple quick specs about this. It has a 2 MOA dot with a 62 MOA segmented circle. It also can be cycled through to a circle only or a dot only. And this one is in red. I'm not sure if they offer a green. I can't remember. But it is half MOA clicks at 100 yards. Pretty parallax free. It says an aircraft aluminum body. I don't know what the aluminum is. However, the hood of this did hold up quite well to abuse. Now, it's got very flush mounted adjustment screws. Again, half MOA adjustment. The adjustments are a little squishy. What I mean by that, they're not real click, 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 you know, not real defined, but it's not just a smooth rotation either. So, it does also take a 2032 battery in a side loading drawer here with a 50,000 hour battery life, which is fairly common these days when it comes to a shake awake design. So this is a shake awake design. The shake awake does work very well. The shake awake is fast, and it turns off routinely in the same amount of time. On the other side here, it has your up and down buttons, which is also how you cycle through the reticle. Now, it does have 10 brightness settings, and of those, the bottom 2 or 3 are night vision settings. Now, I did not get a chance to check this out through night vision like I did their pistol red dot. Pistol red dot was very crisp and very nice under night vision. So I'm going to assume that the night vision capabilities of this one are fairly equal. Now, as far as the highest brightness setting, it is plenty bright enough on a dark background in the middle of the day. Now, on a white background, like some of the targets I have downrange, you do lose the red a little bit in it. It's not so much that you can't see it, but you do have to look for it on, say, a white cardboard target at distance, at, say, 50 yards. So the brightest it gets is pretty bright. It could be brighter. I don't know what that would do to the runtime. It could be brighter, but on dirt and different backgrounds like this, even in bright daylight, the circle dot is plenty visible. So normally you see this on a rifle, any optic I have, normally you see it on a rifle when I'm talking about it. I took it off of the rifle this morning because it had a problem with the drop test. Let's take a look at that. All right, going out to that furthest white target, which is 36 yards, because that's where this is basically zeroed at. All right, let's go check it out. All right, you can see these already have check marks next to them. I was some shooting earlier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's basically a 2-inch group. So that's because that's an 1.5 inch circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know exactly when this happened because it was right as I pulled the trigger, I saw the dot float to this side. I'm not sure about that one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I'm at. That's my baseline of shooting this morning. All right, as usual. Hey, is it still on? No cracks. It's still on. And there's some shadows, but took some hard hits. Let's do 5 more rounds. So I know at least one of those went a little high. It was one of those again, right as I was pulling the trigger, I saw the dot hit the top of the black circle. But let's go check it out. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was already in there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of those. So that's not good. It shifted 1 inch high and 1 inch to 2 inches right. At 36 yards, that's not very good. But I think I know why. So, I'm sure I've already mentioned this fact in the video, but in the other part of the video, but the optic has no recoil lugs in it. And for a rifle optic, that's a big no-no to have 0 recoil lugs. And so, I don't know if it's the optic itself that shifted, like the emitter, if it shifted loose, but at minimum, a rifle optic should have at least 1 recoil lug in it, and I'm guessing that is probably the biggest contributing factor to that. So the importance of recoil lugs is this, right? Now I understand it's not tight, but even when you tighten it down, the clamping pressure is just a friction fit. And anything that has recoil lugs does not move around like this because the recoil lugs will fit into the grooves of your Picatinny rail. And those recoil lugs are for 2 things, not only holding 0 during recoil, but also for sharp impacts. Now, it seemed to have held 0 just fine through normal shooting. I have about 700 rounds on this. They did supply me with 1,000 rounds. And I thought, well, now's as good a time as any to get the B-roll done and the drop test done. And unfortunately, before I got a chance to do any of the B-roll that you would normally see, like at the beginning of the video or throughout the video as I'm talking, this failed the drop test. Now, I did the 0 and I did the drop test at 36 yards. It went 1 inch, 1.5 inches high after the drop and 2 inches to the right, which means at 100 yards, if you're not aware of how that works, at 100 yards, that would have been about 5 inches high and about 6 inches, about 6 inches or so to the right because of how it multiplies at distance. And I do believe that we had that shift in point of aim, point of impact because of the lack of recoil lugs in this. And I say that because throughout shooting, I never lost 0 through regular recoil. So I don't think it was an an emitter issue. I think it was a recoil issue, or a drop test sharp impact issue without the recoil lugs. And what are recoil lugs? As you can see in the bottom of this, there are just 2 cross bolts, right? There is nothing there. There's no blocking there that matches the stair step of the 1913 rail. And in this scope mount, you can see here and here those 2 lugs, those 2 blocks that keep it from moving around on the Picatinny rail. And so that is the difference in no recoil lugs and having recoil lugs. Something like this should have at least 1, if not 2, if the footprint space allows it. Now again, under normal operation, some people may say dropping your rifle, it could be considered, especially out here in the dirt. I'm not dropping it on steel or anything like that. Out here in this relatively hard dirt, I will admit, this isn't soft grass ground. Through normal operation, this thing worked fine. It still works. The dot is still on. The reticle is still on. The glass did not crack with the drop test. You can see the hood is nice and messed up there. So as far as durability in that sense, it held up fine to the drop test. And there's rocks and everything else out here. I'm sure it hit, I know it hit at least 1. That's where that big gouge came from. So no cracking, no denting of the hood, so all of that is in good shape. And again, it did hold up during normal operation. Now, I've broken dots before, I've bent tubes on LPVOs, and I always try to find a bright side to them unless they're massive waste of money, and I don't think that's what this is. I don't believe it's a massive waste of money. I just think that it needs some recoil lugs in order to be able to handle those sharper impacts. Outside of that, it seemed to hold up just fine and was very shootable. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I do appreciate Votatu sending this out to me. Again, I think there's some things that could be updated on it and other things that are just fine on it and work very well and actually have very good options for it being such a inexpensive red dot. Night vision settings, multiple reticles, things like that, shake awake, many things that more expensive red dots normally have on it and the cheaper red dots don't. So I think it's got a lot going for it. I think it's got a couple things it could do better on. The pistol red dot, again, performed very, very well. Nothing really negative to say about that. So thank you again, Votatu, for sending these out to me, and I appreciate everybody's support out there. If you like this sort of content, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get more videos from me. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.